Hello and welcome to a new episode of Cultural Magazine. Today's episode is special as it's coming during the holy months of Ramadan. So let's look at the various Ramadan cultural activities. Ramadan is known for its unique aspects like the Khayyamiyya, the Ramadan lantern, the fanous, the whirling dervish shows, and so many other cultural activities. So now let's look into some of these aspects.
Khayyamiyya is a type of decorative applique textile historically used to decorate tents across the Arab world. They are now primarily made in Cairo along a covered market known as the Street of the Tent Makers, شارع الخيامية or سوق الخيامية. This street is located immediately south of Bab Zuwayla and has been in continuous use since the Mamluk era. There is archaeological evidence to suggest that Khayyamiyya have been created and used in Egypt since the Pharaonic era. Khayyamiyya are elaborately patterned and colorful appliques applied to the interior of tents, serving a dual function of shelter and ornament. They resemble quilts and possesses the three layers typical of quilts: a heavy back, a background, and elaborate applique over the top. Functionally, they can be compared to curtains, though the recent roles have diversified to cater for touristic purposes. These now include cushion covers, fashion, bags, bedspreads, and other applicants.
Ramadan and its various aspects has inspired many artists, including the visual artists. So now let's look at the holy months of Ramadan and how it is depicted in visual arts.
Visual art today, I mean, it has always been part of life. But nowadays it has reached peaks that artists themselves in 50 years ago wouldn't have dreamt that visual art will reach these levels or these worlds. So nowadays, visual art became very, very important and became also not, it became part of life. I mean, the art today in the civilized world, it's being exhibited in outside, abroad, in non-commercial places. Like, I mean, if you go back 50 years ago, art was only in commercial galleries or small places where it is specialized for art. But nowadays, art is being done in the street, in the garage, in the destroyed houses, in every place. You know, even in the nature itself, in the mountains, in the buildings. in the desert. So it became actually part of life and became, and it has also reached majority of people much more than before, because it goes to them, not that a certain class of people they go to a small gallery and they see art and they understand art. No, nowadays it became actually huge and spread away, spread all over, you know. So this is a very, you know, like a very important thing, that the culture, the visual culture becomes part of our daily life, part of the daily life of every of the normal people in the street, you know. So this actually, we have to work on this also here in Egypt.
I wish, like, to get exposed more in the culture and artistic field, because it's difficult, really difficult for the artists to show themselves and introduce yourself to the people and the galleries. It's a little bit hard here. I wish I can make like a mark in life to people, and more people come to my exhibition.
When you talk about Impressionists, they are not considered thinking of colors this way. The Impressionism, most of the time, they mix all the colors together to get the impression out of the shape and shade. So I put all the color, almost starting from black to white, and all the spectrum. I use all the colors, but it's how you spread the colors in certain areas, how to make it hot in certain areas, but I usually use all the palette. It's hard to tell how I do start the painting, but you suddenly find yourself attached to something or attached to an idea, and it comes to your mind several times, and you just had to do it. It's not planned that way. Maybe the painting itself is planned, but the ideas is not planned. It just come like this.
camera of Cultural Magazine is keen to bring to you the various cultural activities nationwide, so stay with us. During the holy months of Ramadan, the Egyptian handicrafts come to life. Among these traditional handicrafts is pottery. So now let's look at that traditional craft.
دكتور احمد حسني مدرس الخزف في كليه التربيه الفنيه. دلوقتي انا طبعا سعيد جدا ان انا شغال في سمبوزيوم خزف الحدائق مع اساتذتي دكتوره ميرفت والاستاذه صيبه والاستاذ دكتور محمد.
I'm a professor of pottery. I'm taking part in the pottery symposium with my colleagues Dr. Mirvat, Dr. Siba and Dr. Muhammad. We're designing on the pottery wheel. We make these designs, then we add to it colors, carvings and coating. The next step, it enters the oven to dry. Then it is glazed to show the carving and the colors. Now I'm coating the surface of this piece and sealing its pores. I'm creating a multi-layer. It could be done by wax or paper. I prefer to use paper as it allows you to coat and glaze the pot. I'll coat it with a darker color. After the baking of the pot, the paper burns, revealing the natural color of the pot. This layer is less than 1 millimeter in thickness. Next stage is to color the piece. I could add blue or black. It depends on my design. After being baked, the colors mix together.
Each year, the Ministry of Culture is keen to open its various venues and cultural houses and palaces to the public to introduce to them the Egyptian culture. So now, let's look at some of the Ministry of cultural activities.
Wakalat al-Ghuri is located among a group of architectural sites built towards the end of the Mamluk era in Old Cairo. It was established by the Sarrasian Mamluk Ashraf Abd al-Nasir Qunso al-Ghuri, who ruled Egypt from 1501 to 1516. He was the last of the Mamluks, for by the end of his time the Ottomans invaded. He built some of the most important architectural pieces in history, which consists of Al-Ghuri Mosque, Al-Ghuri Dome, Al-Ghuri School, which are located next to Al-Azhar Mosque. Wakalat al-Ghuri is considered a model of what it was like during that era. Fortunately, a large part of that remains standing, which helped during the restoration and repair it went through, so it has to return to its original state. In October 2005, Wakalat al-Ghuri opened its doors again as an archaeological site and works as a cultural center for cultural and human development in the area of Islamic Cairo. Many cultural and artistic activities take place there. Center Al Ghuri of Art is the cultural center, the fourth to be established by the Cultural Development Fund in the Darb al-Ahmar and Aesthetics after a successful experiment in the establishment of centers in the creative houses of antiquities in Cairo. The Creative Center that is part of the Cultural Development Fund, including Wikalat Al Ghuri, are tools to provide cultural services and therefore have been equipped with their essential needs. Wikalat Al Ghuri has been equipped with a theatre in modern rooms, changing rooms, chairs, and can also accommodate about 300 spectators in addition to souvenirs and book stands, and it is also equipped with a high-tech sound and light system.
Photography is the eye of the nation. It monitors the various aspects of the society. Now let's look at how photography depicted the holy months of Ramadan.
In Egypt, Ramadan is much special than any other place in the world. Actually, Egypt got a lot of different and very colorful scenes that the talented photographers are very keen to freeze that every year and every now and then. Than any other place in the world that you can see several even stuff like handmade traditional lanterns, minarets. You can see a lot of different images and different type of colors, which is very specialized to the character of Egyptian Ramadan.
exhibition this year for season Ramadan, and I found the photos, most of the photos for mosques. I don't know why, because Ramadan is many things except prayer. The praying, of course, part of Ramadan, but most of the photos for mosques. And but in general, it's a nice exhibition, and I like the color photos, because in Ramadan we know that all the streets full of the lamps and colored lamps and the colored papers, So these colors, I think for this season, for Ramadan, it's better than the black and white. From my view, I think there is something missing here for the Ramadan. The Ramadan, of course, we find the people after they take their dinner, they go to outside to the cafes and sit together and singing in the theaters, and so I think there is no photos for this thing. I think it's nice for the photographer to join the exhibitions, to know from the other photos which way he goes through. I think so. It's better to join the group exhibition.
All the photos are very good. The quality of it is very nice. The composition is great. It is all asking or saying about what in Egypt. It's an Islamic way to show others what in Egypt is here. I am just inviting you to come here and see it. And if you don't have a time for it, please go to El Muez Street. We got plenty of Islamic things there, and you can see and enjoy it. If you have time, come here and see it. The photographers are taking the best shots of El Muez and another places which is around Egypt. It's old Egypt or Islamic Egypt. So please come and see this exhibition. It is unique, and mostly you are welcome to here. They captured, and it is well done by all of them. Happy for them. And I'm just thanking them for the photos they put it here, and it give all the spirit here. Just come here, please. For angles and for photographer to work in it, this is to differentiate between a photographer and another photographer. Yes, there is some photos that need to be taken from another side, but I mean that this will be a good for a photographer to get another way from not another one. I mean that it is important for a photographer to take photos that it is not shown by another. So, but in these exhibitions, I see that many compositions and many photographers take a unique photo of this place or these places of Egypt, which is an Islamic place.